host, then you can just imagine who the guest is. It's epic. It's something we've sat back, we've sat down, and we realized that this man is a treasure trove, and we need to listen to him. But before we get to our guest, I am just the man who's going to introduce our host. This is one man I have done business with. I have been in business with him for 24 months and over. He's been a brother, he's been a leader, he's been an inspiration, he's been an example to us of every good value that we preach and we practice in our business. I am honored to introduce the one and only marketing director, celebrity actor who doesn't eh, like he says, he only drops boarding passes. Yeah, I'm so honored to introduce this great guy. So much honored to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, marketing director Harold Amenya. Harold, if we can hear, it's all yours now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charles, for that powerful introduction. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our exclusive call for today, the 21st of September, 2020. I'm so excited because the gentleman that we're about to have on tonight's call is somebody that I have admired and been observing from afar. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is crushing it. I'm sure if you're new, well, you probably don't know this, but if you've been in this business for quite a bit, I'm sure you've heard his name all over our business. And guess what? Tonight, we are so privileged to have him take time off his busy schedule. This man is enjoying massive success, but he has still sacrificed to be on our call tonight to share with us some powerful nuggets that might be very helpful for us to take our business from where it is right now to where we have always dreamt of it being. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for tonight is a trained statistician, an executive MBA holder. He's a husband and father of 3 children. He achieved International Marketing Director, which is our apex, in 3 years. And guess what? He's been in World Ventures for 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the singular honor of introducing our guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for Mr. Martin Ndiho. Hello, Martin. Are you there?
Yes, I am, my brother. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to our call tonight.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you
This is
so
a
much for your
huge
leadership.
honor. This is a huge honor. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to grace our hot seat tonight to share with us. How are you feeling?
I'm great. The pleasure is all mine, brother. I'm so glad to be on this call and so happy, to be invited to come on here and share my story with you guys. I really appreciate your leadership. Charles Mensa, much respect for you, my brother. And then, of course, Harold Amenya. We haven't met, I'm sure, but I mean, I've been admiring you and, learning from you and looking up to you from afar. And, I'm really so proud of you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really an honor, a great honor to have you on this call tonight. So Martin, let's get straight into our business for tonight. Now, I just want to find out, I mean, for some of us old members, we know the story, we know how you got started, but there's always, a new person on this call who needs to hear everything right from day one. How did you find World Ventures? Before joining World Ventures, who was Martin Ndiho first of all? Let's start with that.
Well, thank you so much. So yeah, Martin Ndiho, definitely, that is my name. And I'm a statistician by profession. And I hold an executive master's degree in business administration. I'm a PhD dropout. Now, prior to World Ventures, I was, running 2 businesses, very successful. One of them, the main one, I was supplying health and safety equipment. Not a business that I was really proud of, not a business I was passionate about, but because it put food on the table, I kept doing it, all right? Now, so I am married with 3 kids, and at the time running my businesses, my wife was working with a bank at that time, and so I found myself, getting, a stranger got in touch with me on Facebook, telling me about Wild Ventures. But the way he brought it up, started off by sending me pictures of exotic places like Miami, Bahamas. Now I'm looking at these pictures, and the business that I was running, definitely there was money. and I knew I would travel at some point. It's not like I never really used to travel. I used to, but for business. And I would only go alone, to go out there, get some stuff to come here and, build my business anyway. So, and of course, my family getting to, take me up to the airport and they go back home and that's it. That is the kind of life I was living. So when this guy gets in touch with me, I never really paid attention to what he was saying because I had this ITC disease, to be honest. I had the I am too cool disease. So I avoided him as much as I could. And he eventually came to my country, to Uganda, to share this with a couple of people that he knew, because he was a stranger to me. And then indeed, we were just friends on Facebook. So he comes to my country for 2 weeks, constantly inviting me to attend his meetings where he was holding the meetings from. And I successfully dodged him. And but he finally landed on my number. It's not like he was looking for me that I had anything special. But you see, I want to believe it was God that was really bringing this thing to me. So he kept sending me messages. He asked me for my phone number. Surprisingly, I refused to give him my number because I didn't want him bothering me because I was already getting tired of Facebook, almost getting to a point of blocking him. But I kept him going, I kept him going. So when he got my number through a mutual friend and called my cell phone, I figured this was getting serious. And the only way to avoid him permanently, I thought, would be to ask him to come through and, share whatever he wanted to share with me. I just look at it and tell him, thank you for coming. So please, goodbye and stop calling me, please. That's what I thought. Little did I know he would eventually change my life forever. He comes and presents to me, plays a video. Wow, 5 minutes into the video, I'm looking at very happy people. I was used to sad people, fighting this, that, business, the way business is. You're quarreling with this one is doing ABCD, employees. That is the kind of life I was used to. Now I'm seeing people happy, laughing, traveling the world. I'm like, this is where I want to be. Now, 5 minutes into the video, I'm thinking, how do I apologize to this guy, for pushing him away for all this long? So video is done. He breaks it down for me. I'm looking at the money and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if this guy walks away with this thing without getting me started, I will follow him. Now, when the presentation was done, I'm looking at gold platinum at the time. That is what we had. And he asked me if I was ready to get started. Now, the thing is, he had been told that Martin has never done network marketing. Martin is not the kind who will do these things. He just might be a member to travel, but he would never do this thing. Wow. Little did little did he know, or did they know, that I had been looking for something like this. So cutting the long story short, he had a list of 65 people that had said no to this. And when I saw that, to me, I'm thinking all those people have already joined, because this was, too good to even say no to, like to avoid something like this. You gotta be kidding me. So I told him, so all these guys are already members? He's like, no, all these guys said no. I'm like, what? So you know what? Start a fresh list and put me there as number one, because I'm getting started now. He's like, are you serious? He was shocked because, after getting 65 straight no's, he was on the verge of going back to Nairobi. Now he landed on me, 66th person. And I tell him, start a new list because I'm starting right now. Now I didn't even have the money. I didn't have the money, but I had to borrow from my brother. I had, incidentally, I had given him some money that morning. I called him and said, hey, Joseph, the money that I've just given you, can I please have it back? I've seen something that I need to do right now. Let me have it back. I got it back. I didn't even have a card, Visa card, surprisingly. So we went to the bank together with this guy in the banking hall, got a prepaid card. Took 5 minutes to get a prepaid card, loaded the money onto it, signed up right there in the banking hall. And the rest, like they say, is history.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is actually very interesting. You know, I always say that you know, until when you're inviting people until they've seen the deal, you really don't give up on them. But you see, Martin, and I'm going to try to go a bit ahead of the questioning, because this is actually something that was going to come up along the interview, but I want to find out from you. I mean, we know with our business, you want to move through the numbers really, really fast. And there are times when you meet people or you try reaching out to certain people and they're not making the time to hear you out. All right. Now, the truth of the matter is that some would like it once they see it, but they might not make time in the beginning when you try to reach out. What is your advice for someone on this call? How do you strike a balance, okay, between trying to move very fast through the numbers and also making sure that each one person you reach out to sees the deal at least?
Well, you see, most people, it depends on how you really do the invite. It depends on how you invite them. Because some people present instead of inviting, you know. See, when you are inviting someone and you're already talking about the stuff that you're really inviting them to see, you're not creating any curiosity. So when the people know, they will always think they know what you're trying to talk to them about. So you need to twist it according to how you know the person. Now, incidentally, that is what I did in the beginning, right? I did all those mistakes in the beginning. I mean, maybe it tells why I wasn't able to build my team with my friends and family, because all my friends said no. You know, my family said no. So I've built my team entirely on cold market. Okay. So the way you invite is very vital. If you invite someone without letting out a lot of information, you have higher chances of getting them to come and see the information that you actually want to show them. But
Mm,
if you go ahead and share everything before they even get to see it, then they start having their own imaginations in their mind, and they tend to prejudge the whole thing, and they won't even give it a time. They won't even give you time to come and see it. So
mm,
inviting the right way is very key in having people getting to see the information that you want to show them. Okay.
mm,
Yeah. So
mm.
that is the one piece of advice that I would give everyone really here, so that for you to have people come through to see exactly what you have, because most people out there have only heard about the word World Ventures or
Mm,
even Dream Trips. Now, if they've heard about it from a person who is negative, they tend to take it that way. Like
mm,
we always hear so many people saying, network marketing? No, 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 I don't want network marketing. But ask
mm,
them what the best salon in town is, or where the best restaurant is. They'll be too quick to tell you, and even call the hotel and tell them, hey, I'm sending someone over there. They're even spending to direct you, to show you something. That's network marketing, and they do it for free. They're not even paid. Whereas here, what we have is the same. It's network marketing. But hey, when you do that and someone actually gets in there and uses the product or buys the membership, you get paid. Now, that is what people don't really understand. They are doing it every
mm.
single day. But the name network marketing, because they've heard about it from other people's experiences who have had bad experiences, so they tend to think it is all bad. So you just have to figure out a way on how to show this information to people without revealing so much, so they just come in and get to see the information. And in most
Oh,
cases, most people will look at the message and not the messenger.
right, right. Awesome. So now, well, I'm going to take you back. Now you've gotten started, right then, and you are very excited. You're on fire. How did you get off to a great start? How was the first month for you? I mean, were you the type of person who got, the numbers in the first month really quickly, or you got off to a slow start? How was the first month for you?
My first month was horrible. I didn't get a single sign up in my first month. And this is how it happened. So I signed up today on the 18th of February. Now I am excited. So I get home and I tell my wife about it. I'm like, we've joined something. I couldn't even remember the name at the time, but all I could remember was something that is going to enable us to travel as a family, and then there's also a chance to make an extra income while we are traveling. So she goes ahead. So what exactly is it? I'm like, well, I will confirm tomorrow, but I already joined, so we've already paid. We are in. So the following day, well, because she trusted me, so well, she didn't really ask so much. Because I didn't also know anything anyway. So the following morning, I'm excited. I can't get over what I saw. Now I get to office. I call my friends, 7 of them. These are guys I grew up with. These are guys who would hang out together all the time. We would do so many things together. Now I call them up and ask them to come to my office. I call the Kenyan guy to come and do a presentation for them. So we are seated in my boardroom. He presents to these 7 guys. Now, I didn't even attend the presentation at the time. I was just out there thinking of how many more people I should call to come and see this, because I knew my friends are going to get started immediately. So I'm looking at 7 people on my team already. So I'm just excited. I'm about to call another batch to come through. So this guy gets done. Unfortunately, he had to go somewhere else for another meeting. So I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem. Just show me, how do I sign them up, ABCD. So he gives me the details. So I get into the boardroom. I'm like, okay, so who comes in first? They all look at me and they ask me 3 questions. Martin, wait a minute. Where have you been? Where have you been with this thing? I said, come on, nowhere, guys. How much money have you made with this thing? I said, nothing. Who else is on the team with you? No one. They looked at me and they looked at me in disbelief. Now, here I am thinking these guys are going to get started. Now they're asking me those questions. And I'm like, so guys, you didn't see the presentation? You guys didn't see travel ABCD? They're like, man, dude, you've been duped. This can never work here. Ugandans don't travel. This will never work. And then before I knew it, someone is on Google punching in some things and then some links. Now, before I knew it, so many links, link after link after link after link after link. They weren't even going through to read the entire story. You know, like how you see a question, is World Ventures a scam? There's a question mark. Now, the way the mind works for people who are skeptical, they don't read it as a question. They just read it and think it's a statement, okay? So they read it and they're like, look at this. Now for me, looking at it first time, I'm looking at everyone now against me, and looking at it, I figured it's true. I didn't really, because at that point, my mind, now I started looking like a confused guy. So, and literally no one signed up. So they all looked at me and said, no, Martin, man, we are not doing this with you. And so we stayed there. Then they started talking about other things. And I'm there smiling, but my mind is very far. And I'm thinking, this guy must have robbed me. This guy must have robbed me. And the guy is away. He has gone for another meeting. Now, it's so funny, but I called him at that point and his phone was off. That made things worse. That made things worse. His phone is off, but it was off not because of anything. I mean, it's battery, you know? So, but later on it was on, and he asked me, how many people signed up? I'm like, man, you first come back here. So he came. I showed him the links. And then we read link after link after link. And then I realized there was actually nothing in it. There was nothing. If you ever see a link, go ahead and read through. Read what the link, what everything is, what people are talking about. Those are people's opinions. But you know, there are facts and then there are people's opinions. Okay? So most people rely on other people's opinions. Now, if you cannot trust the person showing you something, but you are able to trust someone online, someone you have no clue about, someone you can't even call. So that is where I was. So these guys said no. They left, and that was cool. So when they left, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. These were my solid friends, people I called my best friends. You know, it is at that point that I realized sometimes you look at people and you call them your best friends, but hey, on their list, of their best friends, you might not even feature anywhere in the top 10. And that is when I decided I have family. I don't have best friends. I have family. Okay. So no one joined. Now that weekend, we had a family gathering. So I get the videos from this guy and the slides. Of course, I couldn't even know how to present the slides, but I played the video. It was a 14-minute video for my family. So I play the video and I'm excited. I'm thinking my family is going to join. They have to support me. So the slides, I just looked through and the presentation was horrible, to be honest with you. So they all looked at me and they're thinking, man, you've gone crazy. Now, this is the second group telling me I'm going crazy. My friend said no. My family has said no. Heartbroken to the core. So that is 1 week, 2 weeks, I did nothing. Third week, nothing. Fourth week, nothing, because I couldn't imagine talking to another person and getting rejected straight up. So I did nothing in the first 1 month until I received that email, that award-winning email of declined payment. You know, when you don't have money on the card, declined. We were unable to
process your monthly fee.
That's when I'm like, wait a minute, I joined something. And that is when I said, okay, now I think it's time for me to go out there and look for my 4 people. And I started calling people with whom I had just an acquaintance. I called a couple of people, but my first sign up, I was dying for a first sign up. So I get some guy who had been doing network marketing, and I'm thinking maybe I should see these guys who have been in network marketing. Maybe they could bring some people because I had never done network marketing. So this guy comes and he's excited. He's like, we are going to kill this thing. We are going to take this. This is amazing. He's excited. So get started. I don't have money. Hey, you don't have the money? Like, no. It's like, you pay for me and then we run this deal. What did I do? I paid for that. I paid for that idiot. And guess what? That was the last time I saw him. That was the last time I saw him. So there's a lesson there. Never pay for people. But then somehow I started getting people. I think that first sign up opened doors for me, and I started getting people. You know, people started coming in. People, I would show them and they would be ready to get started. They signed up. I got my 4. I got my 6. That time we had BMW qualified. I was BMW qualified. So I hit senior rep in my 2nd month of being in here. So clearly I hit senior rep in 1 month. If you take away the first month, I hit senior rep in 1 month. And the following month, I hit director. I hit director 94 days into the business. 94. Wow. Back then there was a promotion. If you hit director in 90 days, you would get $5,000. Now, because this guy had apparently just joined as well, he didn't really know exactly about that promotion. So I missed $5,000 by 4 days. Had I known about it, I would have probably gotten it. So 94 days, director. And then, you know, went on and on.
Wow. Listen, guys, we've got some over 100 people on this call right now. I'm just blown away right now because you see, I'm looking at Martin, the top cycler in our business right now, with having gone through all these kind of rejections and low moments and still sticking it through. Now, Martin, I want to find out from you. See, I always say one thing, that this business is more mental than anything else. I mean, you need to be mentally tough to really get up from your bed to want to do this on a daily basis. Now, tell me, what really was what was the secret to being able to withstand all those rejections and still having to get up and go look for more people to be able to achieve senior rep in your 2nd month and go on to achieve director in 94 days? What was it for you? What happened during that time?
So at that point, there are so many things that happened to me. The rejection from my friends, the rejection from my family motivated me. That motivated me. To date, I thank them for saying no to me, because maybe had they not said no, I probably wouldn't be here. But I just wanted to go and show them that this thing freaking works. So I was angry and I got hungry. I got angry at these guys, and that anger created the hunger for me to go ahead and do it. Do it once, do it twice, take pictures. So I went on. See, when I got my first sign up after paying for him, and then I started getting other people signing up. So the excitement around my office started picking up. So lots of people would come through, and again, I would sign up someone, and before I know it, next week, I see a payment come through. I'm like, wait a minute. So we get paid on Fridays. In fact, during that time, we would get paid on Mondays. It's until recently when it got changed to Friday, we would be paid on Mondays. When people hate Mondays, we used to love Mondays because we would be paid on Monday. But now it changed. We now get paid on Fridays. So now we are getting paid, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. So if I see so many other people, I would still get paid. So, and I'm looking at this. So if I'm able to bring a couple of people and then I get paid, and then this money comes to me, so what if I continue talking to so many people out there? What would happen? So it kept me going. And of course, that inner anger that I had to show these guys that this really works, I was praying to God that this business is legit. Now, Matt Morris was coming to Nairobi, actually. Before I hit senior rep, Matt was coming to Kenya, and I was told, Matt is coming to Kenya, ABCD. So what I did was I needed to go there because I had heard about Matt Morris. So all I needed was to go there, look at this Matt Morris guy, confirm that he is real, and confirm that he is in this company, because I had heard about all his books. In fact, I think I had read one of his books, The Art and Science of Success. So, and I'm thinking, if a guy like that, with that credibility, would come into this company, he wouldn't really tarnish his reputation joining a scam, all right? So I went to Nairobi. I went alone and left this Kenyan guy here in Uganda. I went to Nairobi. First time ever to meet Matt Morris. I was a BMW qualified. I had my 6. At the time, we used to call it BMW qualified. Now I'm there in Kenya. Then I see, hey, Matt Morris, there are people taking pictures with Matt. Now I'm thinking, because I had been told I'm in Uganda, we are not open. I'm not even supposed to get close to Matt Morris. Those were some Kenyans that told me that. It's funny. I'm not even supposed to get close to Matt Morris because I'm in a country that is not open. But somehow one of the leaders there had known that I was BMW qualified, and she had mentioned it to Matt. So Matt was so inquisitive. He wanted to meet me, a guy from Uganda who got his 6. And there were platinums, okay? So he wanted to see that guy who got his 6. Now I'm there, people lining up to take pictures with Matt. And Matt did something that to death, that really gave me the belief. So I'm there opposite, looking at people lining up to take pictures with him. And because he had been told and probably checked out my picture on Facebook, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "You the guy from Uganda? You're Martin?" Oh my goodness. That was like, I felt like my whole soul coming out of me. It was like a miracle. Him mentioning me and coming to me. And then I quickly asked for a picture, and he was okay with it because I was scared, but he was okay with it. I posed with him, took a picture. And I remember that time there was also Colette Bowers from Zimbabwe. We took a picture. I still have that picture. That was it for me. Now that evening, the leaders were having a leaders dinner, senior reps and above, with him. And you know what he said? He told Helen Kithinji, actually, he told her, I want Martin to come for that dinner. I'm a BMW qualified. I've only signed up 6 people. I'm not a senior rep, but I think he saw something in me that to date I've never understood what that was. So he said, I should attend the dinner. I was so humbled. And I went for that dinner. I'm sitting around senior representatives. I think his humility really, really teaches us a lot. And in life, we just need to always be humble. anyone that comes through, you just don't know who this person will be. So sitting there and getting those conversations, I'm hearing things I've never thought about. And I'm also getting in touch with all the senior reps and above. Of course, the IMDs, you wouldn't even get close. I think Helen at that time was a regional marketing director. I wouldn't even get close, And so after that dinner, the following day, I still was there. I'm seeing him do the presentations. He would play the video, then do the slides. For me, that was enough. If Matt was just a part of Wild Ventures, that was it. I was going to do it. Now, I get there and, I had a moment with him. I had about 10 or 15 minutes with him, just him and I. And I remember asking all the silly questions. I'm like, when is this company closing? Is this a scam? Such questions, silly questions. I'm sure he remembers them. So sometimes we are discussing and we just laugh about that, But he told me this is a company that you will live here for your children and your children's children. And that's all I wanted to hear. And then I went back home and I'm like, I'm going to show these guys that said no to me that this really works. And I'm going to run this thing and I'll do it. Then eventually went for the view in July 2015. That cemented everything for me. I walked the stage as director. And it was on that stage that I made a decision to get back home, close my companies and go all in. I closed all my companies. I remember my bankers calling me and inviting a psychiatrist to see if I was okay. And I'm telling them, hey guys, this is my decision. And they're like, so do you need a loan? I'm like, no, nothing. I have made a decision to close my companies and I'm going to do something else. And I went on. Everyone laughed at me. My friends now, it was as if that was something to really give them more stories. My family even discussed me. They had a meeting to discuss me, So many things went through, so many things happened, but that only fueled my anger. And I'm like, I have to show these guys that this really works.
Wow. I mean, listen, I'm blown away. We're going to be taking questions in about 10 minutes, but Martin, I know. I mean, I've heard this so many times, when people get into this business, you ask them, are you working? Oh, yes, I'm working. I'm going to be IMD, this, that. And, we even go ahead to set targets for ourselves, but really deep down, are we taking the action towards really being able to achieve our dreams? Now, you literally had to close your companies and go all out for this. And I mean, Sachin has talked recently over during Super Saturday. He was talking about the fact that you literally cannot go IMD if you have a plan B. And it's really about, a do or die situation. That's what really brings the success. So, I mean, what all that I can ask you right now is, what at that point, what drove you? Because I can imagine you have a family to take care of and all that, but what really kept you going on a daily basis? What would you do when you woke up? What would you do? How was your routine like, especially when you shut your business and you had to do this full time now?
So when I shut my business, I started, first of all, the reason I did that was I was no longer really giving my business enough time. And I was leaving it to the employees and things were beginning to get messed up. And I didn't want to destroy the relationships I had created with my clients just because I wasn't now giving it 100%. So I decided to close it and and I actually sat down my employees and told them, hey, so I'm closing this thing. If you want to follow me in this, please, you can come. But if not, then here are your salaries. I am done. I'm closing this thing. So I did. Now, when I closed that, and again, of course, the rent for the office and everything, all those expenses, I wanted to cut lots of things out. All right. Now, the stress as well. All right. Now, I started going to restaurants. Okay, to restaurants to do presentation. I remember the first restaurant I started doing presentations from, I was kicked out. They kicked me out. Then I left and went to another restaurant that welcomed me. For those in Uganda, it's called Java House Lugogo. That one. I sat there It had internet. And see, I would sit there in the morning, and anyone who would come and we probably know each other somehow, I would ask them to come, sit, and I present. Anyone who would show up, or I would just meet someone and I introduce myself, and I'm like, hey, there's something that I'm working on. Do you mind having a look? You know, and I would sit down and show them the deal. All right. So somehow I started building that team. Now I would sit there from morning to evening. Now it's funny that some people that knew me actually started reaching out to my brothers, telling them, hey, your brother is getting to be a nuisance. He sits at a restaurant from morning to evening. But my brothers knew what I was doing. And well, they called me just to show some concern and asked me. And I'm like, well, I'm doing business. I'm working on something. Now, here's the funny thing. The people that would see me sit there in the morning, for them, where were they? Why were they coming there? And besides, I was paying for my breakfast, I was paying for my lunch, and then dinner, and then I head home. All right. So I was working and I wasn't asking anyone for anything. But somehow people will always find ways to put you down. Never ever listen to them. Never ever listen to them. Okay. So that's what happened to me now. But I kept going because I knew where I was going. Now, it so happened that after the view, coming back October, I lost the entire team. Now there's a company that came through, shiny companies. There's always going to be a company that's going to come through, and you see people running away and going. So everyone left. I was 10 platinums away from marketing director. All these people quit. I stayed with just two people on the team. So I had 380, 10 platinums to marketing director. And that was about October, November, December. I lost everyone, stayed with two people. Now I'm getting to January 2016, Feb 2016. Remember, I closed my companies. I'm depending on my wife's salary, which was about $250 or $300 a month. And so what I would do was I would make sure every week, at least I sign up a platinum so that I know next week I have $50 for fuel at least. And I'm praying I don't get like a flat tire. I don't get like anything wrong with the car, you know? So I was there. I would leave home with my water, with a bottle of water and bread. You know, I would go in the parking lot around lunchtime, eat my bread, drink my water, and I would come out like I've just eaten chicken. And I would do a presentation, and you feel this guy has had a good meal. You know, that's water and bread, you know? So I went through that phase. My kid missed school. It was tough, all right? It was tough after losing the team. But because I had seen Mark Cassetta, because I had attended the view, I had seen thousands of people. I had spoken in front of thousands as a director, and looking at, remembering the energy in that room, seeing Mark Cassetta do his thing. And my only goal was to meet Mark Cassetta at some point. So that kept me going. So that's why you need trainings. That kept me going. So in March, I started getting leaders. That's when I got someone who led me to Hadassah. That's when I got someone who led me to IMD Philippa. And then of course, IMD Jackie comes through, okay? Those are 3 IMDs on my team. So when those came through, now we started running. I remember in the beginning, they would ask me, but Martin, you say you're a director, you have more than 180 people, where are they? And there was no one. I could not show anyone because everyone had quit, all right? Everyone had quit. So life was hard, but I kept going. You know, my son, I would get home and my son asks me, Dad, will I ever go to school? And I didn't know what to say, you know? It was tough. I would just get out of the house, go back in my car, and I just cry. It's always good to cry. You're going to go through these moments. I'll just cry all the stress out, and I'll get back in the house. and I would say, this has got to work. Meanwhile,
Wow.
all the people were laughing at me. All the friends were laughing at me. My family members were laughing at me. And I just chose not to listen to all the laughters. And I chose to focus. And I knew my time would come.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So it really is about losing your self-esteem for a temporary period. And that's one of the things that I believe a lot of people struggle with. We are too cool. We feel too cool. Our egos are bigger than our bank accounts, that we are so scared of losing our self-esteem temporarily for something bigger in the future. So for those of you on this call, I'm sure you are hearing this story. I mean, with all the successes that Martin is chalking right now, I'm sure you are in shock to hear what he's been through. Now, Martin, let's get into a bit of the how-tos, right? I mean, I know that you've built your business mainly on cold markets, and you are literally the cold markets guru. How do you do it? I mean, I get people, I can't even begin to count the number of times I get my team members reaching out to me. How I'm now in my cold market. How do I reach out to cold market? How do you do it? And you have figured out a way, and you have to really break it down for us right now. How do you approach cold market?
A stranger is just a friend that you haven't met, really. I don't think there's anything like a stranger. Harold, if I had met you before you joined World Ventures, trust me, you wouldn't go anywhere but in my back office. See? That's the thing. See,
Like
anyone I go out there and meet, there's no, I know this like I know my name, that I'm putting you in my back office. There's no way you're surviving. If I sit with you on a plane and it's a 4-hour, 5-hour journey, flight, you're not going anywhere but in my back office. Because I have enough time to show you this deal and show you exactly what you're going to miss out if you don't get started. You're not going anywhere but in my back office. So the thing is, there's nothing, to me, I believe anyone out there is enrollable. You just have, I won't say there is a right way or wrong way of doing it, but anyone that you do approach and you say, hello, my name is Martin. If he's English speaking, I'll put you in the back office. If you are English speaking, I'll put you in the back office. Now, the thing is, the reason I do cold market in especially countries that are not even open, and besides, I've built my team here still on cold market. Surprisingly, I haven't touched my warm market and hot market in Uganda. I haven't. But most of them have seen me, I've seen what I do. Now, the reason I decided not to touch my hot market or warm market is because my best friends, the 7 guys that I invited, instead of making a list and calling people to show the presentation to, they started making lists to call people to warn them against me. That if Martin calls you, please don't go. That guy is going to show you something. He's part of a scam. We talked him out of it, but he's adamant. He's not letting go. He's still going ahead to put in other people. This guy is going to jail. This guy is going to jail. So when he calls you, please don't go. And for some reason, I kept calling people, and people stopped picking my calls even before they saw the presentation. Until one of my cousins told me, hey, by the way, so-and-so called me and told me not to see you when you call me. What is that you're doing? I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And that's it. That's when I made a decision not to call anyone that I know. Not to call anyone that I know. All right. So I stopped calling anyone. So I meet anyone and anyone. So this is what I do when I go to a market, to a new market. Now, I'll tell you this. See, if this helps anyone out there listening in right now, so, that is why I'm here to share this with you. So every country that I've gone to, it explodes. In 2018, on my journey to IMD, I went to a country, and on March 1st, I went to that country and I started working. In 4 months, there's a lady that hit RMD. So had they not stopped us in that country, that lady was going to break the record that Nicholas just broke. We were on track, but the country stopped us because it's a small country. And because, of course, it's a small city, everyone knows the other, speak the same language. So they're like, what is happening here? Because we had 1,500 people in 4 months. Now people got scared. What is this thing? What is this? What is this? What is, what are they? Are they open here? No, not yet. Close those guys. I went to another country, and in 1 month, 2 months, got 3 directors, and I left that country. Then I went to the west, somewhere in the west, your neighbors. I got there in 2 months, got 2 directors. And then I went back home. But you see, I learned along the way I was building teams. Then I figured I need to get to a place and just stay for a little while and then do this thing. So I came to your place in February after Momentum. I came and I said, this thing is going down. This thing is going down. And I got that guy. I mean, there's quite a number of leaders that I have there. You know, Michael, you know, Kabute, you know, Nicholas, lots of leaders, David King Boyson, got those guys. And I said, you know what? Then I got this particular guy. I'm like, you know what? Let's run with this thing. Let me see where we can, let me see if it's possible to break this record. And the guy was so coachable and teachable. And he told me, if it can be done, if you think it can be done, let's go for it. And I said, fine, let's go for it. So we started. And boom, lo and behold, done. So now that's, and again, remember how I met Kabute, cold market. I remember him coming, 2018, him coming to my hotel, Alisa Hotel. I don't even remember where Alisa is. But he came and I came downstairs and I'm looking at this guy all there, you know, he had this ITC. So I sat down and I looked him straight in the face. Now, this is how I attack cold market. I looked him straight in the face and told him, bro, I'm about to show you something. If you wake up tonight at 3 o'clock and you can't find sleep, just so you know it's normal. And I smiled. That's it. And he's looking at me like,
certainty. Certainty.
So I think the confidence,
certainty,
those are the things that really get the attention of cold market. But if you're shaky and you're not sure what you're talking about, then it could work against you. So to me, this is how I would approach you. I go to Chinedu Ikedieze, told him the same thing. You know, Chinedu, anyone would think, oh, this guy is a celebrity, ABCD, and you get there, you're shaky. Well, I told him, bro, I'm glad I met you today, but I'm about to show you something that is going to change everything for you. Are you ready? He's like, yeah. So we sat. I did a presentation for him. And when I was done, he pulled out his card and put it here. He was in. So certainty. So cold market, you need to get to them. And again, you need to have, at the back of your mind, you need to know you are enrolling this person. You are signing this person up. You need to keep telling that to yourself. I'm signing up this person. I'm putting this person in the system. I'm putting this person in the system. But if you have doubt, if you're desperate, if you show some desperacy, you know, and any person can smell it. It's the way the dog smells fear. That is how a prospect will smell your desperacy. You know, that they will know that this person. That is why they would come up with so many objections and the like. But just show them. And again, if you show it to them and they show you they are not really so into it, take it away from them. Tell them, well, either way, it is fine, by the way. I was just sharing this with you, but if it is not for you, not a problem. So, I mean, but I would tell you, I mean, well, I'm in your country and we are opening here soon. I'm about to put in 10,000 people. So with or without you, I'm definitely going to do this. So if you want to come with me, you can come with me and be among the pioneers, or you can come much later together with the masses. Wow. When they hear together with the masses, they're like, I need to be among the first cream, de la cream. What are you talking about? And they come through.
Certainty.
That-
I think I have the answer. Certainty
yeah.
and belief. So, Martin, we've got some 121 people on this call. We're just going to, allow a few people to, ask questions live. But before I do so, I'm just going to read a few questions that are coming through here. We have one here from Nisa. Nisa says, "Is the person who signed Martin still in the business?"
Yeah, he is in the business. He is. He's a marketing director. He is still
Awesome.
in the business. Yes.
This one is from Simon, says, "Want to know what happened to those friends and family who rejected you?"
And some of them, actually, two guys. One person lost a job, and he had a mortgage that he also lost. I mean, I feel sorry about that. And two of them called me and asked me at some point. They're like, man, Martin, why didn't you tell us this thing was real? Why didn't you tell us this thing was real? I'm like,
I told you, but you weren't listening.
I told you I did everything I could, And of course, after them asking me 3 questions, after the view, because there's this love you have for your friends.
Mm-hmm.
After the view, I called them again and I gave them the answers to the 3 questions. You asked me where I had gone. I have just come back from South Africa. You asked me how much money I had made. I'm now at a director, leveraging off, $2,000 a month. And you asked me who else was on the team with me. I had none then, but now I have a team of 180 plus. Then I asked them, are you ready to get started? And at that point, they didn't even have the money. And guess what? The moment they walked out of my office, because I had even decided I was going to close it, I just go to my phone and deleted all their numbers. That's it. I deleted all their, I didn't want negative energy in my phone because I have you guys as my friends and we have a group where you are, where I am, and we are, we call ourselves the solid friends. I looked at the group, I deleted it. I got out of the group. I mean, not out of anything, but I just didn't want negative energy because, I mean, if you're not with me here, well, I don't need you. I don't need you. And because I wanted to show them that this really works, I went ahead. I never unfriended them on Facebook. I kept them there and they kept watching. They never like, they never comment, but they are watching. Because when I meet them, they ask me, oh, welcome back. I'm like, from where? Oh, you were in Cape Town. Oh, you saw that? Oh, yes, on Facebook. Oh, really? I didn't see your like or comment. That's where we stop it. That's it. So it's good. It's good. I mean, we keep on like that, but I mean, I feel sorry for them, man. I feel sorry for them.
This one here says, well, what does it take to go IMD in the shortest possible time? I think from someone or guesting wants to know that.
What does it take to go IMD in the shortest time?
Yeah.
It's numbers game. You've got to be ready to work your butt off. You need to work really hard. It is a numbers game, basically.
Numbers. Let's look at numbers. What is your average daily exposures personally?
Well, personally, I stopped counting because this is what I do now, right? So I get on LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, right? So what I do is I punch in, like I'll tell you what I do. I punch in Ghana, right? Like right now, I'm really focusing on Ghana. So I punch in Ghana and I'm seeing all the names look the same. I see Mensa, I see, all the names look alike, right? So I'm just sending friend requests, like on a daily basis, I could do maybe 50, right? I do 50. Now, out of the 50, anyone that responds, I'm getting into your inbox. Hey, thanks for connecting. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for connecting. And then, we start. And then, what do you do for a living? Should you make a mistake and ask me what I do for a living? That's it. So I tell you A, B, C, D. And then I'm like, boom. Before you know it, I'm inviting you for a Zoom presentation. All right. Now, because it's cold market, the moment I invite you for a Zoom presentation, you jump on, I'm monitoring. I'm seeing that you on the call. In fact, there's a professor from Ghana that we signed up today, and I saw Nicholas telling me, where did you get this guy? So then after the Zoom call, I do a 3-way call with anyone from Ghana. So that's it, you guys should know. Because I've gotten to realize most Ghanaians want to hear from Ghanaians. All right. So I get a Ghanaian. It could be a qualified rep. It could be a senior rep. It could be a director. It could be 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. It's okay. What matters is the edification.
Awesome.
So I call you, I edify you like no man's business. Even when you're on the phone and I'm edifying you, you're like, yes, even if you've never closed anyone, at that point, you first of all, you are thinking, okay, now how am I going to close for this guy? Now, for me, I always don't want to really, mention the ranks and everything, no? So I am calling you like as Martin, all right? So I call you to help me close my guest, because you have all the powers. You're in Ghana, you're Ghanaian. So sometimes you speak Twi, which is cool, So you close for me. But when I edify you, then I shut up. And you go ahead. If he has any questions, you answer the question because I shut up. You go ahead and do the thing. Yeah. And of course, if it's your first time to close, when we are done closing and the guy is off, whether you're signed up or not, then if you had made some few errors, then I'm going to call you back later. And I'm like, so here is what you would have said. Here is what you would have said. So you see, you are doing so many things at a go. You are building a leader. You are teaching him how to close, because the next time anyone else calls them and the same question comes through, they're going to help them close. So right now, that is what we are doing. We are building a solid foundation. So I don't count how many people I present to in a day. I don't count, because I'm just always on phone, just plugging people on Zoom calls, And when I monitor and I'm seeing how many on the call, and then boom, after they watch the presentation, then I'm calling 3-way calls. And, that's how you get some signing up, and others, they call you much later, like a month later. They're like, hey, now I'm ready to sign up. I'm like, oh, wow. And you don't even remember when you saw this guy, when you put them on the call. So you need to have your record. Have a book where you write the names, because now I'm writing so many people here. I'm really writing every single person that I put on a call. All right. So make sure you follow that, right? Like 1,000 cold market, you need to go through thousands of numbers to get tens of people signing up. But you see, the beauty about this, you don't need to get 3,000 people by yourself. You just need one person that will bring you 3,000 people.
Awesome. This one is coming in from an anonymous person. Says, Harold, I want to know from Martin, if you have a team of 14 in a month, but your members are apathetic, stagnated, how do you prop them up? So I think he or she is talking about motivating your team. I don't know what you have to say to such a person.
Yeah. So how do you motivate your team? The thing is, you don't motivate them. See, if you have people that are not self-motivated, now if you spend your time trying to motivate them, they're going to suck the life out of you. They're going to suck the life out of you. So when you have people that are not really ready to go out there and put in something and do something for themselves, you don't have to kill yourself, because when you spend a lot of time trying to get them into working mode, then they are draining your energy. So what I do is I go ahead and sponsor 5 more people. I sponsor 5 more people. See, if your team is stagnating, if your team is there sleeping, not doing anything, don't look at your team. Look at you. Go sponsor 5 more people. I remember some of my leaders called me and said, Martin, what is happening? I'm not cycling. I'm not doing this. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, it happens sometimes, but you know the solution to that? Go sponsor 5 more people. So now they know. When you call me telling me you're not cycling, I tell you, go sponsor 5 more people.
Right.
See, what most leaders do, they get into management mode. At the moment you get into management mode, you're finished.
Thank you for that. It really works. Go sponsor 5 more people if you feel your team is stagnated. So this one is from Isaac. So Isaac is asking a very important question here, which I was going to ask you as about follow-up. So he's saying, is it good to always go back to the people who said no to you from the beginning and still talk to them? And then how often must you do that? So, I mean, especially with the numbers you are doing, I mean, what is the effective way of following up, and then how often do you do that?
Yeah, so I mean, Mark Aseta would tell us the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Just always just drop a message. You might not necessarily ask them, so hey, so when are you signing up again? No. You could just say, hey, hello, ABCD, or maybe, oh yeah, one of our members just hit this rank. You know, one of our members has been in the company for 1 month and he has hit senior rep. Just engage, just keep communicating, just keep the communication going. And if you're lucky enough to add them on your Facebook or Instagram, so be it. But make sure what you post on Instagram is also worth looking at. See, don't start this business of prospecting, especially cold market, and you go ahead to post things that are really, really, crazy. Post like inspirational stuff, motivational stuff, because you don't know. One morning, someone might wake up and the only thing they needed to hear is a message that you post on your page. And they see that message and they're forced to call you and tell you, you know what? I think I'm ready to get started, So, but always follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. Yeah. Most leaders will tell you they don't follow up. Like, I really don't follow up because this is what I do. The reason I don't follow up, I lock you in a way. And this is how I lock you. So I tell you this after presenting to you, because I know I'm going to go through thousands of people. So I tell you, hey, promise me that should you ever make up your mind, you will be on my team. And then I ask you thrice, do you promise me? Do you promise me? Do you promise me? Now, when you ask them thrice, do you promise me? Do you promise me? Do you promise me? Now, if they ever make up their minds, what will come to their, what you will come to their mind immediately. They'll be like, oh, wait a minute. I think I promised this guy. And that is how you see them calling you. So that is why I don't follow up personally, okay? But our trainers, Mark Caseta will tell you the fortune is in the follow-up. So please, you can do the follow-up. But I am telling you what I do as me. I don't, but I lock you. I lock you somehow. So that when you decide later that you want to get started, at least you will be ashamed to get started. And then you say, then I meet you because you definitely will see me. And then you see me and then you remember you promised me, but again, either way, it is fine because anyone is really allowed to join whoever they want, right? Yeah, but if you promise me, if you have integrity, definitely you will call me.
Right. So this one is coming in from Franklin says, is it healthy to close all businesses and give this business a full time? Well, Franklin, I'm sure from the results, you have the answer.
No. It is not advisable. I wouldn't advise you to close your business and go all in. Before you close your business or before you quit that job, make sure you're working way more money. You're getting way more money here than you are making the other side. I wouldn't really advise you to, because man, I closed my business and I know what I went through. I don't know if you would go through the same and actually get through it. It was horrible. It was tough. See, I never talk about that part because it gets me emotional. So I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through. So stay with your job, stay with your business, because it will help you reach out to more people as you build your business here, so that eventually when you see things moving, unless you are ready to go all out crazy and have that work ethic that you really want, otherwise I wouldn't advise you to close your company or quit your job to go in here before you start making some reasonable amount of money. Yeah.
Awesome. So I've got two people who share the same question here. Nikwe and Mercy are asking a question in the same line. So Nikwe says, how do you get cold markets on a three-way call, especially when most of them are reluctant to release their phone numbers? I mean, they can join a Zoom, but you might not have their phone number. How do you follow up and get them on a three-way call?
You know, some of these things, you just need to apply some common sense. You see, there's a way you can trick someone into getting you their number. You don't have to beg for their number before you let yours out. See, this is how you could say, for ease of communication, can you hit me up on my WhatsApp number? You give them your number. You see, that could be easy for them to get your number and text you. Or you can go ahead and ask them for the number. If they give it to you, well and good. If not, because how else are you going to get in touch with them if you don't really get their number? So there is a way you have to play around. Of course, some people will be stubborn. So like I say, you need to have zero emotional attachment. Don't really attach so much emotion to it. This person refused to give me their number. It's okay. If they refuse to give you their numbers, next, there are 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion.
Yeah. 8 billion people, so many people all around us. So Alex Trumesi says, what exact message do you use for cold market prospecting on Facebook or LinkedIn? People want to know the scripts you use, Martin.
Okay, so I don't have a uniform script. It depends on how. Now, again, when I'm doing cold market, this is another aspect that I'm looking for. I'm looking for an 8, a 9, or a 10. All right. So an 8 and 9, or these are very successful people. These are people who are already successful in life. Okay, like CEOs, like managing directors. If you work with a bank, you're a manager. You are an 8, 9s and 10s. So I don't go to Facebook to look out for someone who is. I mean, no offense, but like you see, you can see a 2, and this is a 2 really. This is a 4. This is a 3. See, those are people that will take you back and forth, kill your energy. I am looking for the big fish, because when I land on the big fish, what do? I put a pause on my cold marketing and I run with you, because I want you to see the results, because you have the credibility. So I'm running with you. When I sign you up, I've signed a phone book. Now I am going to get into your network. When I get into your network, that is your warm market or hot market, which would ideally be my cold market. But because I'm with you, I am running with you into your warm and hot markets. It is so easy to have them closed. So I go for people that already have, some credibility. But again, don't leave out the people that you might look at and you think they're a 2, a 3, or a 4, and you just leave them out. You never know who is looking for this. So just go ahead and get them. So again, you don't have to reveal everything when you're hitting them up. You have to put it in a way according to who they are and how the conversation goes. Because there are people you chat with and you're asking them a few things and they tell you, I don't have bundles, I don't have data, I don't have a smartphone, I don't have this. Yeah, you are running through the numbers. You are looking for leaders,
Awesome. Well said. So we're going to allow for questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still hanging out with International Marketing Director, Mr. Martin Ndiho. So if you have any question, just raise your hand. We're going to take just a few questions because we're gone past our time. So I'm going to allow for the first person to speak. We have Jessica on the call. Jessica, please unmute yourself and take it away. Hello. All right. If Jessica is not ready, we're going to move on to Mercy. Mercy, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and ask your question. All right. Hello, Mercy, can you hear me?
Hello. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. Let's
I
hear
would like to ask Martin, how should we handle it after all those on your list? You have exhausted all of them. You are still not getting. It seems like work done is 0.
Did I get that right?
What do you do when you've exhausted your list? I think Mercy, he pretty much has
never run out of contacts. You
never
out
run out of contact. So I mean, if you've exhausted your warm contacts, I think Martin has, elaborately about that. We're going to move on to the next person, Mr. Alex Trumesi. So Alex, if you can hear me, please take it away.
Okay, Harold, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so Martin, about a month or so ago, we interviewed Kabute. Kabute recalls a story of how his business went down, and there was a day you called him, and the words you spoke to him really shook him up to the core and really got him up. I've always been curious what exactly you told Kabute. Some of us have team members who are down, who don't seem to find their way. I mean, if you can recall in the words of what exactly did you tell Kabute, and what can we say to our people to get them up again when it really feels tough for them? That's my question. Thanks.
Thank you so much, my brother. So here is the deal. See, when I met Kabute in 2018, and he got started immediately, actually, and there was a view from the age happening in 3 weeks. He came for the view and he saw the picture. Now, after getting to see the vision, see the company, and getting, the belief, his belief shot up. Now, coming back 2018, 2019, he slowed down a little, all right? He slowed down, and of course, because he probably was hit by attrition, losing his team and everything. So he slowed down. However, he had signed up someone in Nigeria that I went and started running the business with. Now, Kabute had a lot of holding volume on one side. So when I go and start running this guy's, business, supporting him, Kabute was still cycling, but he was not really into the game. But he would still cycle. Like, you'd see 3 cycles here, 10 cycles, and I would recognize him, wanting him to really get to see that the business he's trying to avoid is actually forcing money on him, right? So I'm looking at all that. He's not really come. And I'm like, dude, if you could come and we start working this thing afresh, you will be amazed at how this thing would be. And he would tell me, yeah, I'm coming. So one day, I just got a phone. And I said, I'm going to call this guy and give it to him real. Like, there are times when I call you, and when I'm talking to you, I'm really talking to your heart, okay? And I pray about it even before I get to talk to you. I pray to God to give me the words to use to pinch you in the heart and get you back and get you straight to the lane and bring you back here. So I called him, and he had just, they had just gotten a baby, and, he was giving me excuse after excuse. And then, there he was, there's a baby, a new bundle of joy. And he showed me, and that was a genuine reason, right? So I'm looking at that, and I'm so happy for him. I congratulate him. But then I'm like, so my brother, that's a new child right there. Now, let me ask you, if God forbid you pass on, what are you going to leave for that child? What would you leave for that child? Here is something that is running on its own, that is giving you money weekly, and you're not paying attention to it. Yet if you build it, it could get to be, seen and enjoyed by your children's children. This is generational income. So what exactly are you doing about that? And somehow, I didn't even know it would hit him hard, but I think he looked at what he was doing back then and put himself in that picture and realized he wouldn't be leaving anything behind. And that hit hard, that hit hard. So he basically broke down. He broke down. I broke down. We both broke down. And I'm like, bro, this is it. What if this is your only shot? What if this is your only shot and you missed out? Because the worst nightmare that you will ever meet is you getting to meet the person you could have become. So I'm like, are you ready to wake up and we build a legacy? And that's where the call ended.
Powerful.
And that was where the call ended. And eventually, in a couple of months, he called me and told me, Martin, I am back. I'm like, dude, I see more than I hear. And before I knew it, there was Nicholas, December, a month later. Imagine, that was November, I think. Then a month later, Nicholas came through. See, again, man, this business is blessed. This business is blessed. I mean, we have God. God is always here with us. The signs are everywhere. You just have to connect the dots. The signs are everywhere. You just have to grab it when it comes to you. Because when that happened, that is when an idea came to him to meet this guy. And this guy explodes everything. And he gets back the energy. Right now, these guys are unstoppable. Unstoppable. In fact, I can tell you, Kabute doesn't have 2 more months from now to actually hit IMD. IMD, this guy is a guy to watch. Kabute is a guy to watch right now. He is running this thing. I am watching him. He is crazy. Like in the next 2 months, max 3, he should be an IMD.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to allow for some more questions. Jessica, I allowed you earlier. I'm not sure if your hand is still raised, but CAK, Jessica, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, thank you so much, MD Harold, for that. Thank you so much, IMD Martin. We're really learning a lot. I just wanted to ask earlier on, you said if you make the mistake of asking me what I do, then it's game over. So I just wanted to ask, what's your response? When someone asks you, what do you do on social media, that piques their interest and want to listen? If you have a script or something like that.
Okay, cool. So you ask me what I do for a living. Well, depending on how the conversation has been going, that is how I'll respond to you. But here is the common line that I always use. I say, well, I'm a part of a VIP travel club. VIP travel club, and lifestyle and travel club. And I mean, so they're like, so what do you do? So we travel the world and get paid to do that. Simple as that. It's kind of confusing. So you're confusing them because you want them to see the information. You're like, you travel the world and get paid to do that? You're like, wow, I would also want to do that. Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked. So here we are. Come on, let me show you how this works. Boom. And I do the presentation.
Awesome.
Wow.
Moving on. Right. Thank you too. So just one more guest. Admin Team Revolution for Success. You have the floor.
Okay. Wow, that's great. All my leaders, Harold. Yeah. And on point. IMD Martin. Hey, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I've got this question running up around, and I've learned a lot from what you have said, and I don't somehow to be a repetition, but let me ask this question. Where I am, we have got leaders or members who are really want to do crush the deal. I know there's a part which they need to locate that point, but how do you help these members who really want to do this, but they are failing to sustain their monthly subscription? And they are talking to the people. I don't know whether they're talking to right or wrong. Even when you come in, people do ABCD, but they're not signing up. How do you help them to believe deeper beyond their wildest imagination? I think that's a question.
So if I got your question right, is some people are really, really like, it's about the monthly fees that get them discouraged, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the monthly fee. Monthly, this is how I would look at the monthly fees. It is just a smoke screen, really. It's a smoke screen. See, people need to be reminded of their why, the reason they joined. Is it that you joined to stop paying monthly fees? Is that the main reason for joining World Ventures? You see, if you joined just to stop paying monthly fees, clearly, what are you really aiming at? Because to be honest with you, even if this company had nothing to do with refer for pay no more, this would still be the best deal there is. Even if we were paying monthly fees, it would still be the best deal there is. See, unless you haven't really gone on any dream trip, unless you haven't tested the product and gotten to see exactly what you have, and again, unless you haven't really done the work and gotten to see the potential of how much money you can make. Now, imagine if you were paying monthly fees, let's say it's $100 a month. How much would you spend in a year? That's $1,200. Okay, that's monthly fees. Now, imagine how much you can cycle weekly. If you get 3 cycles, only 3 cycles in a week, that's $300. $300 in a month with 4 weeks, that's already $1,200. You've already made that money that you would literally pay in a period of 1 year. And remember, that is your money anyway. It comes back to you in points. And you're going to use those points to go on a vacation, to take your family and friends, to go have to create memories that will last a lifetime. So to me, what I always tell my leaders is, I mean, monthly fees, it's just a smoke screen. And until people come in and get to realize the reason they joined is not to stop paying monthly fees, but they joined because they love the product. Yes, most people will come in because they want to quickly waive the monthly fees. They are fighting to quickly waive the monthly fees. Yes, it is an incentive that we get as a company, from the company to refer for and pay no more monthly fees. But should you not get the for, to me, I believe either way, it is fine. So let's teach our members to understand that it's not a punishment to pay monthly fees. You are saving. It's your money. You will use it to go on holiday. And again, let it motivate you. If you pay 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, make sure now you're working towards making that money back by you building a team. Now, when you do that, eventually what happens? You start making way more money and you won't even worry about monthly fees. Like in the last 13 weeks, I've been cycling over 100 times, making an average of about $6,000, $7,000 a week. Now imagine if I had been paying monthly fees for the last 5 years. Would I feel it? Of course not. But had I quit after my first month of paying monthly fees, where would I be 5 years later? Trust me, I don't think I would be in a better place. But I stayed the course.
Indeed.
So many people have stayed, paid monthly fees for 5 years. But when you pay monthly fees, everyone that joins is on your team. And that holding volume keeps piling up. If you have that holding volume piling up, it will be one day you'll land on someone who will go crazy on this other leg and you'll cycle like crazy and you won't even believe it. So let's get it out of our people. Let them understand that monthly fees is not a punishment. Let's start enjoying it. Let's start looking at it. And it is from the way we really talk to people about it and the way they perceive it, and they get it from us. So if we show them that, hey, monthly fees, they will even get scared. Some people call me and they're like, no, I don't think I'm getting my full by end of month, and I want to quit because I don't want to pay monthly fees. And I ask them, if you really and truly joined to pay monthly fees, I think this is not for you. So go right ahead and write to support and quit. If you joined because you wanted to stop paying monthly fees, then I don't think this is for you. You didn't join to stop paying monthly fees. You joined because you love the product. So I get you into that corner and I'm asking you questions that you will also ask yourself. You're like, by the way, did I join because of monthly fees? I can go ahead and get the 4 people Like, and then I can also make the money anyway. So it's not about the monthly fees really per se. I hope I've really answered that and given you a whole new perspective of looking at it. And I just hope everyone really gets to look at it that way, so that it's
Awesome.
not a
Awesome. So it's really all about the attitude. So just two more questions. We really have to wrap up because we've gone past our time, but these two hands have been up for quite a bit. Jesus saves, repent. You have the floor, please. In 60 seconds or 30 seconds, you have the floor. Let's wrap this up real quickly. Thank you. Jesus saves, repent now. You have the floor. Otherwise, CAK, you have the floor. Please take it away. All right. So I guess these people have mistakenly raised their hands. So Martin, to wrap things up, I mean, these are powerful nuggets that you have shared with us tonight. We just can't have enough of it. We've gone past 1 hour. What are your last words? We appreciate you so much. I mean, this is just like hearing from you for the very first time, and I'd just like for you to wrap it all up for us. What do you have for people who are on this call right now who feel stagnated? They're literally tired. They've done it all. They've had it all and done it all, and it feels like they have literally come to the crossroads. What are your final words for people like that on this call?
Yeah, so I mean, what I would really want to say is I've had this from my mentor, Matt Morris, saying the people that are going to make the most money in world ventures haven't even joined yet. Now, I want to tell you one thing. You count yourself lucky that you are already here. Now, if you're in a place where Harold is right now, you are more than blessed. You are double blessed. Okay. So what you need to do is to realize that you are in the right place and it is the right time. Now, realizing you're in the right place at the right time is also not enough. You need to also be able to put in an effort, massive effort to change your life. Because what we have in our hands, we just haven't even scratched the surface. Look at the continent of Africa. If you're on the continent of Africa, look at how many countries are open so far, and look at how many are not yet open. Now, if you are there, make sure your children's children never get to ask you where you were when all this was happening. Make sure you are looking at this pandemic, this period that we are in, 2020, and you are not the kind of person that is just seated right there watching everyone putting in the work and winning, and you are there waiting for COVID to end. Make sure you are not that person that sits back and says, no, maybe I came in way too early, maybe I've come in way too late. There's always that day one. If you are on this call and you feel you've had it all, you've lost your team, you've dropped rank, and you think this is it for you, I promise you, you are right in the place that you should be, and that is your character being built. Because I will remind you one thing: you don't hit IMD, you become an IMD. Now, to become an IMD, you need to go through those things. You need to go through that. That is God preparing you to be the person that you need to be. Everything that is happening to you right now it's a preparation that God is having on you. And you see, God's preparation, God's timing meeting your preparation, when the two meet, God's timing and your preparation, there's that magic moment. And that magic moment is a spark. That is momentum. The moment that happens, it will be game over. But guess what? If God's timing comes through and you're not prepared, what happens? The blessing goes on to the next person. You are already here. Take charge. Go all out. Do this like your life depends on it, because it does. Because guess what? If you play yourself right now, if you are playing with this thing, you are definitely alone. Now, we want to change everything on the continent of Africa. We are just getting started. We are laying a foundation. The real game starts in 2021. Are you ready to come with us?
Powerful, 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 powerful. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. International Marketing Director, 100K per year. And ladies and gentlemen, soon to be double IMD, all the way from Uganda, Mr. Martin Ndiho has been our guest for tonight. It's our special Monday night live session. Thank you so much, Martin. I can't even listen, words can't express how grateful I am to you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. We know the momentum you are currently enjoying, and you still have made time to be on this call to share with us all that you have, the experiences you have accumulated in the last 5 years. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. God bless you so much. Keep doing the powerful stuff that you're doing. And, the sky is only the starting point for all of us. Thank you so much, my brother. Have a good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, here we come. So it's the end of the night. Same time next week, we are back again with yet another powerful guest. Keep it locked right here. We'll be back. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.